Hello everyone, welcome into another tactics video on FIFA 23. We begin our coverage of the 2022 FIFA World Cup mode with lots of international tactics coming your way. We start this series with Didier Deschamps' France tactics, the 4-2-3-1 system. Of course, they saw them have so much success in the 2018 World Cup, and now we come on to it for this one as well. My name's Ash Brummer18. On this video, we do all sorts of videos, including tactics recreations on FIFA 23, the likes of Football Manager we also cover as well. So please do, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell down below. With the formation itself, I'm going to take you through all the position changes. There are a couple on there. We're going to go through the custom tactics and also the player instructions as well. Also, a word of warning before we start: if you're using this on the World Cup mode, because EA don't test anything before they roll it out, you'll notice that when you actually back out of the team sheet after you've created it, it doesn't save it. So if you're going to use this, make sure to use it in a tournament format, or perhaps online, or in a career mode, or what have you. Don't set this in the actual team sheets in the World Cup mode, because it won't save, basically. Before we get into it, let me quickly remind you that if you want to get access to my custom tactics package, on there you can find all sorts of things like ratings and rankings and strengths and weaknesses, suitable teams of players for every tactic. Please do check out my Patreon. On there, loads of other perks as well as the tactic, the likes of behind the scenes videos, Discord server access, early access to videos, exclusive tactics that we don't cover on the channel, and a whole lot more. Also, check out all of the links down below in my description, such as the link to my Twitter, the link to my gaming podcast, video games podcast. Really enjoying that at the moment. And with that being said, let's begin. So first things first, with the position changes. Obviously, we've got this 4-2-3-1. You just want to set it to the 4-2-3-1 wide, but what you want to do is adjust the wide midfielders so that they are left and right wingers. What this does, it gets them further forward, pretty much playing on the last line, along with the striker, in which case is Olivier Giroud. And that is the best way to recreate those out-and-out wingers, particularly the likes of Kylian Mbappe. With regards to the kind of positioning elsewhere, make sure that Rabiot is RDM and LDM. You will have a little problem adjusting them with regard to the base formation. You'll see that it only shows the centre midfielders there, but you will kind of get it if you can just wiggle around the centre backs and stuff. So do just make sure that happens as well. Let's talk about the team tactics then. First things first, defensive style is press after possession loss, giving you a nice counter pressing system. You'll find in the gameplay that you'll see below, I think, below me, pretty sure, that it was very effective, really effective at counter pressing. We did a great job of winning the ball back from Denmark regularly after losing possession. So this is what we're trying to do there. The width defensively is 20, a nice compact narrow shape. They're a very pragmatic outfit, and that plays into this, the depth being on 60. That is a mid block, but it's a little bit less passive than what it would be on 40. What you have here is you have, again, a system that is relatively pragmatic. They don't try and overly commit, but they still know that they are going to have line share possession. They want to kind of press the opposition in moments. So the mid-block is going to allow them to do that. Offensively, build-up play is on slow build-up, meaning that the players will show for the ball from goalkeeper restarts. They'll drop into the box. And then the chance creation is possession. Lots of the movement you're going to get is from the likes of the front four, and we're going to be able to replicate that through the player instructions. With regards to chance creation, you'll find that generally what they're looking to do is, again, they don't want to go gung-ho. They don't like to overly commit. You know, Didier Deschamps likes to have players really sticking to their position, not overly committing, not leaving too many gaps, too much space for the opposition to counter on them. And part of that is with regards to why they have so much possession and often like to kind of just recycle the ball. The width is on 70, spreading that team out, getting them wide, stretching them, getting players into space if and when they can. You didn't want this too wide in terms of having it on 90 or 100, because they are going to have to then get back into their shape when they do lose the ball and really kind of decrease that width and become compact again. So we have this on 70. It's going to really create a lot of space in between each vertical line, and it's going to help to really stretch the opposition out, get your players into space, the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, even the likes of Griezmann, etc. Players in the box is on 8, giving you 4 players in the box, and that will generally be the front 4 getting into the box in those crossing situations. And in the corners and free kicks, both of these are up to 4. A word of advice from the likes of corners, I noticed that they do kind of take a lot of short corners. You know, they like to kind of get a situation where they come short, and then he'll play back to the corner taker who's ran off the corner spot. And then what it does is it moves the opposition defence out a little bit and gets them off rhythm and kind of a little bit unprepared. And then they like to kind of dink those balls in over the top of that defensive line. So just a kind of word of advice there as well. Moving on to the player instructions then, starting off with Hugo Lloris in goal. One that's more personalised than anything. We know he likes to take risks. He likes to play on the front foot. And that's what we're trying to replicate here. So he's saving outside the boxes on sweeper keeper. And he's saving on crosses. His comes to crosses. That's going to help you out immensely. And it's something that we always kind of advise in all of these, I guess, tactics videos. With the 2 centre-backs, no changes there. In fact, I did even toy around with making these conservative interceptions. But kept them on normal, really. Because these guys, they're not looking to step up. They're told to retain that position and don't play overly aggressively. The fullbacks, there are 2 different roles. Starting off with Koundé on the right, of course, a role that we've seen Benjamin Pavard take for quite a few years before this. Again, acting as that third centre-back. It's that pragmatic approach, again, he likes to make sure that they have those numerical advantages in the defensive third of the pitch. So, with regards to Koundé, he's on inverted and stay back while attacking. Now, we would occasionally support attacks, and that's something you can do by getting him on the ball and kind of storming forward with him. But it's not enough to justify altering his roles and his instructions. So we keep this on inverted and stay back while attacking. And this is again helping them to form that back 3, whilst the likes of Hernandez, who we can come over to on the other side, is on join the attack and overlap. Now, they've actually had to make an adjustment in the first game against Australia. You'll remember that Lucas Hernandez gets injured, and he's very much a kind of hybrid centre-back fullback. He was very much going to replicate that role of Koundé, and it was going to allow them to have 2 inverted fullbacks, and then both the wingers would get out wide and stretch the play. Now they've had to make that kind of audible, and that adjustment. His brother, Theo Hernandez, comes on. And as a result, you've got a player who's much more attackingly minded. So as a result, they've adjusted this now so that he's getting forward more, he's joining the attacks more. And then in response to that, Mbappe's role and his movement, his positioning has been changed a little bit as well. So we will get onto that shortly. With the 2 defensive midfielders then, starting off with Tchouaméni, slightly differing roles here. We've got him on cut passing lanes. It is the same for Adrien Rabiot as well. We've also got him on stay back while attacking for the attacking support. Now with Rabiot on the other hand, he's on balance. Tchouaméni's the one who is going to really screen that back line and help to break up counter-attacks. Rabiot on the other hand does get forward a little bit more, tend to support attacking moves more often than what the likes of Tchouaméni will do. So he is unbalanced as a result of that. In addition to this, with the defensive positioning, Tchouaméni is on cover wing, and he's going to fill in for Theo Hernandez, who's obviously going to storm forward. He's going to look to overlap. Whereas with Rabiot, you'll notice he's on cover centre. And the reason why is that he doesn't need to come out wide because you've got Koundé there, who's obviously naturally playing that inverted fullback role. So he doesn't need to be dragged out wide. So he's on cover centre there, whereas Tchouaméni's on cover wing. Finally, for the position freedom on both, and they're both on deep line playmaker. Really fun to get this. We've got this double pivot, something I'm yet to try this year on FIFA until I was testing this tactic out. And with that double pivot, makes it very, very easy to play out from the back because there's quite a lot of movement from these two, constantly dropping into pockets of space and picking up the ball as well. So you've got that double deep line playmaker pivot there. With Griezmann in attacking midfield, his defensive support is come back on defence. His support on cross is getting to the box with a cross, as we spoke about in the tactical instructions, and then the positioning freedom is drift wide. He's going to look to come and support the likes of Dembele, who will naturally be a little bit isolated if, say, for example, you know, he's got Koundé who isn't overlapping on that side. So Griezmann's going to help him out, and obviously having Rabiot on that side as well, who is sometimes getting forward, is also going to help in those situations. With the two wingers then, some slightly differing roles. We'll start off with Kylian and Mbappe. You'll notice obviously we spoke about earlier how that has adjusted his role a little bit. Before he was on stay wide. Now with regards to Hernandez now overlapping down that side, you're going to find him angling his runs and cutting inside much more. I think this works better for them. It gets him closer to Olivier Giroud so that he can play off him. And that's what's getting their interchange as well. Defensive support, he's on comeback on defence, and then support runs naturally getting behind as he looks to penetrate the back line with that unbelievable pace. Support on crosses is gets into the box for the cross as well. And then meanwhile with Dembele on the other side, you got generally similar roles, getting to the box for the cross, come back on defence, getting behind. But this time his chance creation is stay wide. He's naturally going to create the width on that side because Koundé isn't the one getting forward and overlapping, so he's staying out near the touchline, and that's what's going to enable you to stretch a defence. Finally then, with Olivier Giroud up front, his support runs are on stay central. Make sure that he's that outlet up front. And then attacking runs is target man. We don't want him as false 9 because he's going to drop too deep with target man. He's still going to show for the ball, but he's going to look to back into opponents. He's going to try and use his strength and height as well. And then you're going to get those runners of Griezmann and Mbappe and Dembele all in and around him. And they're going to be able to play off him. And this is absolutely pivotal to this system. Finally, with defensive support, he's on stay forward. Again, he is that out ball going forward, and they're going to be able to play up to him as that target man, and then he can hold it up and get those runners in and around him again. Right then, that just about rounds it off for this video. If you've got any questions regarding about the tactic whatsoever, then please do let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget, I obviously have less footage to go on for these systems. We're only going on World Cup games, so as a result, which with less footage, you might find a couple of discrepancies compared to usually when I'm doing tactics videos, and I've had a lot more games to kind of watch and analyse and stuff. So please do bear that one in mind as well. As I said at the start of the video, make sure to go and check out my Patreon if you want to see deep dives on this tactic and how it ranks compared to other systems. On top of that, don't forget to check out my gaming podcast, the Ash Bros podcast. Lots of great episodes and content coming out on there. Get access to it over the video version on my channel, or you can get access to the audio versions on all your favourite podcast apps, Spotify, Apple, Google, all that good stuff. Finally, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Ring the bell to get notifications every time I upload a video, and don't forget to drop a like if you've enjoyed it and you found it helpful. On that note, we're going to round it off there. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, I will see you soon.